Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that were canceled and or short-lived that I would like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Fox series Lethal Weapon. Now, this is going to be a very interesting Bring It Back because Lethal Weapon's in this very interesting situation. If you're unaware what the Lethal Weapon TV show is about, it is kind of like a reboot, kind of like almost reimagining kind of the movie Lethal Weapon with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. Obviously, like, you know, basically these kind of like very like heavily like police action comedy movies, and obviously like they adapted it to a police show that was very kind of like police procedural a little bit, you know, kind of like crime of the week type of situation. It's like, rather than it just being kind of one investigation from the movies, once again, it's been forever since I've seen a movie, so I'm probably remembering things wrong, but rather than it being like one particular case, it's like multiple cases, but obviously there is an overarching storyline, like any, you know, police procedural type of show. And I was a really big fan of the show because I think the show had a lot of like, it was funny, but the show also had a lot of heart and depth to it, especially when you got into the whole Riggs situation, because I didn't remember the movies at all. I still don't. That when we got to Rick's storyline, I was like, oh shit, was this what his story was in a movie? I don't remember. It was like, oh, that was some like heartbreaking stuff, everything with his wife Miranda and everything's. And obviously, you know, Murtaugh kind of balancing, trying to be there for him while also, you know, his own family situation, you know, just kind of comedy and drama ensues there while also dealing with like, oh, I have this very like self-destructive partner who's just kind of crazying out his damn mind type of situation. Well, the show was sadly canceled after its third season, which I'm like, the complicated thing there is the fact of the matter is the show ends in a way where you're like, and I even said this at the time when I was reviewing the season finale, if they wanted to, they could have ended the show there, which they did, because it ended up in a spot where it's like, okay, there's still stuff unresolved, but it ends up in enough a way you can be like, okay, you could see it kind of ending there, but I would want the show to kind of come back for longer, maybe, like, you know, for a fourth and fifth season, I'd kind of aim for, because see, the thing is, the problem with Lethal Weapon, I don't know whether it's just viewership reason-wise, that could have been it, but I think it was probably a combination of that plus other many factors, because if you're unaware, we're going to start getting to some spoilers, so if you don't want to know Lethal Weapon TV show spoilers, well, the fact of the matter is, in season 2, they killed off Riggs. Rather, in the season 2 finale, they were setting up a thing that happens to Riggs. He gets shot. It's supposed to be super ambiguous whether he lives or dies. Well, we find out he dies in season 3 because they killed him off. Why? Because there's a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff between Damon Wayans, who played Murtaugh, and Clayne Crawford, the actor who played Riggs. It's the whole thing. You can look it up online. Clayne Crawford has definitely spoken out and said like his side of things. So, you know, take what you will. I'm not here trying to pick sides. Just saying it was a complicated situation behind the scenes. Didn't seem like it just started in season 2 just based on what Clayne had talked about. The fact of the matter is it seemed like it was already an issue even in season 1. Once again, that's kind of here nor there, but while also still being here regardless. Because of that, Riggs getting killed off, they brought in a new character named Cole, who was played by Sean William Scott, which I really liked him in a role. I was like, oh, I thought it was kind of a nice role for him to be in it. Because I'm sure a lot of people, myself included, it's like the thing you kind of know him best in American Pie movies. So I think this was kind of a nice thing to show you, like, no, like he can definitely step out of that role being serious and a little scary and just kind of damaged and messed up in his own way, you know? Because I'm sure people could compare, you know, Riggs and Cole's characters. I'm not trying to, they're two different characters, they're two different stories and stuff like that. But, yeah, that was just, I'm sure, like I said, it probably could have been a viewership situation that was affected by all the drama, or, you know, just maybe just whatever the case may be, maybe Fox decided after all this drama, we're going to cut the show, because also it came out that, like, Damon Wayans was like, oh, after season 3's production wrapped, he was like, I'm going to leave the show too, so it's like, that would have been a whole thing. It was literally wouldn't have been Riggs and Murtaugh, and it was no longer Riggs and Murtaugh, it was Murtaugh and Cole, but then it wasn't even going to be Murtaugh and Cole because Murtaugh was going to leave, and I'm sure that would have gone with all his family stuff too, so Cole would have gotten a new partner in season 4, especially the way they end season 3. You could be like, they could take that a depressing route if they wanted to, or maybe they could be like, oh, everything's said and done, but like Murtaugh decided like, oh, he wanted to go his own path, but we could continue with Cole. it wouldn't be Lethal Weapon anymore. For a lot of people, it wasn't Lethal Weapon anymore after the whole rig situation. But regardless, like I said, I'm not trying to get into the ins and outs of that. Like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You can pick a side in the situation. I'm just kind of laying out what I know, because I'm sure I still don't know everything there is to it, but still. It's a shame, because I really like the show. I really love the stuff with Riggs, but then I did really like Cole as well, so that's why I kind of felt bad we never got more time with him. Like I said, the show ends in a way where you're like, you can be fine with it, but like I said, there's still plenty enough open story to be like, where things would have gone, who Cole's new partner would have been. So that's why I'm like, this is in a weird case, because it's like, I would want to bring the show back, but at the same time, like, with everything behind it, would I really want to? Would I want it rebooted? No, I'd want it a continuation. Like, I don't know if anyone would necessarily pick this show up after all that, because I don't know like where the fan base stands on it. I don't know where people in general stand on it. Like, because like I said, there's a lot of, like, because it's not just Clayne Crawford. Other actors have kind of, said their piece about everything as well. So that just kind of, because there was a lot of characters that never returned for the third season, or at the very least left in the third season just because of everything that was going down. So it's just... It's just a complicated, messy situation, but it's just like, despite all that, I kind of still like the show. I'm not sure where you can find the show. I think you can find all 3 seasons on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I will correct myself in the annotations. That might be at least one streaming service you can find. I'm sure you can definitely find it on like your digital, your Blu-rays and stuff like that, I'm sure. But still, like I said, it leaves me a little conflicted, because I would want the show to continue, because I think the show was so much fun. Because I think, it wouldn't be a situation where Damon Wayans would have to return. It could just be like, all right, here's Sean William Scott as Cole, and here's his new partner, and what that dynamic would look like. Would they go more the Murtaugh route with this other character? Because Cole was kind of a little Riggs-ish, to the sense that he was kind of a little messed up, a little broken, but he wasn't nearly as crazy. He was kind of in his own right. So because from what I was hearing, they were going to bring in a character that was supposed to be kind of a Riggs-like character, from what I was hearing. Once again, this is just hearsay. I'd heard like secondhand information. Like I said, that's what I heard. I could be 100% mistaken. So I don't know. If someone decided to bring the show back in that regard, I would like it. Like I said, I'd rather a continuation rather than like a straight up reboot, because the show in itself is kind of a reboot in its own right. So it's always interesting when reboots get rebooted, so that's always a thing. But nevertheless, obviously this is just kind of what's flowing through my head. I actually love to get to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you someone who watched the Lethal Weapon TV show, and did you like it? Were you someone that was kind of divided because of the whole Riggs situation? Let me know about that. And also, because of everything, would you want the show to come back? Because I'm sure for some people it's like, no, because Clayne Crawford would never come back to the show. Even if the show came back, he wouldn't want to probably come back after his experiences. And, so for that would probably be enough for a lot of people, in particular his fans, to be like, no, I'm done with the show. I'm sure that was kind of a big part of the show, too, was like a lot of the fans being like, no, we're riding with Clayne Crawford. I can't watch the show anymore. Which, hey, like I said, everyone's entitled to feel the way they feel about it. I can understand. I'm not going to shame someone and be like, oh, how dare you? It's like, no, you're entitled to feel the way you feel about things, and, take the course of action you want to take, But that's enough of me rambling on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It's circling back to what I'm trying to say. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, enjoy it. Good day and good